Okay. Okay, it's recording. Okay, so hello everyone. There's some familiar faces here today, so I'm really happy you guys made it. Um, my name is Andrea, and I'm currently the Youth and Families Program Facilitator here at Native American Lifelines in Baltimore. I'm not of Native descendants, but I am from Puerto Rico, and I'm really happy you guys came here today. We have the International Indigenous Youth Council with us to share about what the IIYC is about. And then we're going to leave it open for a Q&A with the members about whatever you want. And we really hope we can form like some kind of Facebook group at the end of this to get the conversation going. So yeah, so if anyone wants to start off introducing themselves, feel free.
I can go first. Good evening. My name is Warren Griffin. I'm UPIC from Alaska. I'm also the community health worker for Native American Lifelines of Boston. Also graduated Haskell. So if you're looking at a college, I suggest at least looking at Haskell. And if you have any questions, you can hit me up.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jessica Dickerson. I'm the medical case manager at Native Lifelines Baltimore, and I'm a member of the Lumbee tribe of North Carolina.
How mitakepi chantena bechi zaplo miniki nakichizi mie na tra mazapankeska machapulo yuhpe mantaha. Greetings, everybody. I'd like to first start by greeting each and every one of you with a warm and heartfelt handshake. My name is Terrell Ironshaw. I am Oglala Lakota and Eastern Band Cherokee, and I am from the community of Oyuhpe, which is Crazy Horses Camp on the Oglala Lakota Nation. And I am a co-founder of the International Indigenous Youth Council, as well as the founder of the IIYC Oglala Lakota chapter.
I'll go. Hello, everyone. My name is Maribel Falcon. I'm just an adult mentor with IIYC. I'm from Texas. My people descended from the Humano people here, and been active with IIYC since Standing Rock. And yeah, I was just asked to help and be of support as an adult mentor to the organization, and collaborating with other youth organizations and supporting youth however I can. So thanks for having us. Thank you.
I can go. My name is Sam. I come from Nahuatl Purepecha people. My family comes from what is now known as Jalisco and Michoacan. And I do work with the Chicago chapter of IIYC.
Is it my turn now? Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Mireya. I am currently in Chicago. I am the intern board member. So I'm a board member, mentor, you know, just here to help. I'm Hirakawa Apache and Nuwa in German. And I have been with the council since November of 2016, around there. Met people right after I came back from Standing Rock. So I'm just here and I'm excited to meet you all. Thank you.
That is so awesome. I'm not sure who went because my internet is super messed up, but I just wanted to say hi to everybody. My name is Autumn. I'm the outreach case manager in Baltimore. It's great to see everyone's faces. I also love all the plants in the background too. I'm like trying to figure out what is what. And Chelsea, just real quick, if you want to grow out your hair more, take some biotin vitamins. They make your hair grow super fast.
I already have been. Thank you.
You have? There you go. You're already on a great start. But hi, everyone. And I'm sorry if my internet goes out. There's nothing I can do. It's probably spirit.
Do the youth want to introduce themselves? Yeah, Keys, yeah.
We're the Keys family from Maryland. And we're Piscataway Canoe.
We're Piscataway
Piscataway Canoe.
Piscataway Canoe.
There you go.
Chelsea, do you want to go?
Sure. My name is Chelsea. I'm up here in New York area, upstate New York. I am Iroquois, Cherokee, and Métis descendant. And hello, everyone. Sorry if my cat gets in the way. She's kind of playing out here.
And Zoe?
Hi, my name is Zoe. I'm from Maryland and I'm from the Lumbee tribe.
Okay, so since everyone's introduced themselves, why don't we get started? And I want to ask one question and just let you guys take it from here. Who is the International Indigenous Youth Council? And if you can give us a little background of how you guys got started, that would be great as well.
Sure, I can get us started. So the IIYC started in Standing Rock, and we were a group of young people who consisted of just like young people who were drawn to Standing Rock just because of like what was happening, but also some of the youth runners who were involved with the run from Standing Rock to Omaha, Nebraska, and then on to Washington, D.C. And they're really the ones who like sparked the whole Standing Rock movement. With that run, they were delivering petitions against the Dakota Access Pipeline to the Army Corps of Engineers. And when the message wasn't heard there, they ran it on to Washington, D.C. To give that message to Congress. And so from that run, some of those members were actively involved in the youth council in the beginning there. And so it was just a group of us, sitting around the fire, the sacred fire, just talking about, as young people, what do we actually have, the power to do here? And also as young people, how are we able to do what we need to, but also be following the guidelines of the Standing Rock tribe and the chiefs that they had already set up, and also like the elders, and just like how do we follow that traditional protocol at the same time. And so from there, anytime we did an action, we did runs, to like we ran to Cheyenne River Sioux Tribe from Standing Rock, and we ran to Bismarck, to the Capitol, and it was just like things like that at first. And it was just getting more young people involved along the way. And one of the things that we did in camp that was very successful was whenever we had events or whenever we had like ceremonies or things that we were doing, we didn't just announce it on like a loudspeaker or make people come to us. We actually went camp to camp and built relationships with people, and we talked to them to face, and just about what we were doing and who we are, just young people trying to make a change. And so we were given a sacred bundle also by Grandpa Orville during that time we were there. And so I'm the carrier of the bundle. So I have like responsibilities to, help to guide the youth, and, any kind of help that anyone needs, I'm always here. And so from that, a lot of opportunities have come for, the youth council. And so after the, we were in camp until December. And whenever we were asked to leave by the chairman of the tribe, we had our last meeting at the casino. And, there was a whole bunch of us, and we were talking about, we didn't want this to end at Standing Rock. We wanted to keep it going. And, so from there, we now have, I think, 11 chapters nationwide. We started in Denver, and that wasn't even really a chapter. It was more, just us folks in Denver were the ones who were going through and doing all the like process of becoming a 501c3 and, bylaws and everything, and working with, different orgs that were like supportive of us in Standing Rock, and just being able to build like our presence and, start a foundation of, this is what we're going to do. And so then we started to build out into other chapters, Chicago and New Mexico and, South Oglala, Lakota, which was formerly the South Dakota chapter. And now there's just so many of us. And we all are like, the work that we do isn't, we kind of have the same goals and everything. And we come from, like, we run under the same flag, but every community is different. And so whatever you decide to do with your chapter, it's going to be based on your community needs and, your cultures and, your different protocols that you have. And so it's really a good opportunity to, be able to, learn more about who you are and, share knowledge and, be able to help, build community and build power with each other. And yeah, that's all I have.
Does anyone have questions for Terrell on what he just said? And if anyone else has anything else to add, feel free. Chelsea, you have your hand raised. Feel free to.
So, what are like, how would you join, and what would you be doing as a member?
So pretty much, pretty basic. We have, you have to have like at least 2 members just to have that chapter representatives, and, just to be able to, enough people to have the capacity to carry out what you need. It doesn't take a lot, depending on what you're trying to do, and then just, a meeting like this, talking with youth council members and, seeing if it's really a right fit for you and your community. And then I think we just have pretty much the 2 asks of, like, you have to have like 2 projects that you do as the youth council. And we have all hands meetings every month, where all of the chapters will come on, and, we give updates, and, so we all try to stay on the same page, so we're all also able to like support each other, offer opportunities and different things like that. And so that's once a month for, you would have to, you or, your chapter representatives or whoever wants to come will attend that meeting. And yeah, that's kind of just like the basics of it. I don't know if anyone else wants to add on to that.
Okay, thanks.
How many members would you say you have, like, nationwide?
That's a big question. I know in the Oglala Lakota chapter we have 10 members. The Winnipeg chapter kind of varies, but they have about 5 members.
Yeah, I would say at least 100. We don't like keep a roster of all the members, because we understand that communities kind of, they change, or you get more members, and it's just, and then it also, so yeah, we don't have an official roster. It's up to your community how many members you have and such.
There's no like official, like, application to become, a member of the youth council, even though, that implies a membership, being a member of the council. But it's just, showing up to the community, showing up to the events, and, being a part of, the organizing that the youth council does. And, so some people, are members who are more active, and there are some people who are less active, and, it's very fluid.
Okay, thanks.
Does anyone have any other questions? I have one question. Just maybe this will get people thinking a little bit, but how have you all benefited from being part of a tight-knit community, such as, the council? But as you mentioned, the council, it's a council, but it's really the community that it's formed, instead of like the official council, um, the label that you put onto it. It's more about the community. And so I just wanted to share, like, I just want to ask, if you guys wanted to share, how have you benefited from that family, that tight knit family, like feeling that these group of people have provided for you?
Um, I don't know. I think it's pretty amazing to just have people that you can, talk to, and people who relate, because as Indigenous people, we go through different things, and we face different problems in society, and so it's really awesome to just have that community. And then also pre-COVID, when we were able to travel, just being able to go and see how other communities, how they handle their issues and how they organize, and even just being together in community. Sometimes we would have like gatherings, and other chapters would come, and we would all get to hang out together, and a lot of us even go to like the same Sundance, and we know like the same circles of people. And so just to be able to have that connection with people anywhere that you go, and so it's just really good for I think to just to have people that you can call your family, your chosen family. Everyone in the youth council, I see everyone as like my brothers and sisters, and it's been like that ever since the beginning. And Standing Rock, and we would like share tents and spaces, and so it's very like tight knit and close. And so a lot of times people may not have that kind of like relationships, or those kinds of like good just relations with people. And so it's really good to like when you come a part of it, to just automatically be accepted. And it's really special to me.
I can also share on that. So in our community up here, well, like throughout the whole council, I feel like I've established like really strong friendships and like relationships through the council, and like doing things together across chapters and stuff, and getting to be involved in like other chapters communities. That's really powerful, and it's a blessing to be able to do that kind of work and build those relationships. Something that I thought about is our community here in Chicago. Our chapter here is really, really close and like really tightly knit. And having this community makes me feel really complete, because I feel like any need that I have, um, any help that I need, I can find it here in this community, in Chicago, and in the people here, because we all care about each other so much, and we want to see each other do well. We want to see each other happy and thriving. So to be in a positive community where we just bring our resources together and share with each other, it's like priceless to get to have that. And I can't put into words how grateful I am to get to be with these people. Like, it really is a blessing when you establish a community like this, and just like to grow with the people that I work with for the council is really humbling. So I'm just happy to be here, and I think that the greatest thing from the council is just having those relationships.
Does anyone have any questions? another pause for any questions that anyone might have. I know Chelsea just left for a sec, but was going to be back in a few minutes. So, okay, so I have another question. This is more like kind of just like a for fun, question. But best memory that you've had with like members of the council or like anyone, in your chapter or whatever, if anyone wants to share that.
I'll say one. It's a few years ago, and I think we posted about it on our social media, but we did a run. Terrell had the idea to do a run against the Keystone Pipeline. And we were at a ceremony together. Something about IIYC too that's really nice is like, it's really tied to prayer, to like a spiritual aspect of, our own relationships with our cultures, with our people, but also like unified in prayer in a way. And so we did a prayer run for like 70 miles in the middle of the night. Like I was driving, and it's youth, like young kids are running. I don't know how long it took us, like maybe 14 hours or something like that. But I was driving like 2 miles per hour, like the whole time. And we run and we go back to camp, and like it was not planned. So nobody took pictures. Like I took some pictures just because I was driving, and but it was not coordinated with anything, nothing like public. And we get back to camp, and then the young kids are asking like, what did y'all do? And we're like, oh, we did a run against the pipeline. And they're like, oh, the pipeline. And on their own, they like create a petition out of just a piece of paper, and they're like, stop the Keystone Pipeline. And they got everybody in camp to sign it. But they did that completely on their own, it's super cute. And this was like 3 years ago or 4 years ago, maybe. Anyways, a week or so ago, they stopped the pipeline. And I told the girl who's now, then she was maybe 8 or 9, and now she's like, 11, 12 or so. But I'm like, you did that petition to stop the pipeline. And she's like, yeah. And I was like, well, they're starting to stop it. And she's like, oh, but it's just like the youth that we're tied with family too. IIYC is like a very family oriented organization, and we know each other and we pray together, and we're very open, to any youth who want to, celebrate their culture, learn more about them. And our model right now is like the chapters really have, a lot of control over what they do as they're in their community, and we're still figuring out the adult mentor factor, but we're really just here to offer support for the youth and anything that they need. A lot of us are first generation to go through college or maybe have experience in other organizations. So we try to offer services or like offer support for youth who are going through that process anyway we can, and also like give people room to organize things and do mutual aid, do whatever they need for their own community. But sorry, that was tied to the memory, but or not connected to the memory, but that was my favorite. I was just meaning to tell Terrell that because I was like, he made us run like 70 miles in the middle of the night, and it was a powerful prayer and it worked.
I was also gonna say that memory. So that was actually on the 4-year anniversary of another run that we did. It was the same run. And I got like, that one was very unplanned too. Grandpa Crow Dog over the intercom was like, we need all the youth to come to the sweat lodges. So like we went over there, and he was like, we're gonna do a run, and you guys are gonna run from the spirit camp to Crow Dog, and you're gonna do it tonight. And my Takoja, my grandson Terrell, he's gonna lead you. And this is like the first time I'm hearing about it. And I'm like, what? That's like 70 miles. Like, yeah, that was, that second one was a lot easier, even though it was like so long and it was pretty hard, but we had like a lot more people involved the second time around.
That's awesome.
Chelsea has a question.
I have 2 questions actually. So you were like at a camp or something during like activism? Like that must have been amazing. Can you tell me more about it? That's really interesting. And second of all, if I set up a chapter, I would probably tell people I know about it, and a lot of people I know aren't Indigenous. How do you feel about having non-Indigenous people involved? Because I know a lot of my friends are not.
Yeah, we've had chapters that have a lot of support and people who organize with them that are non-Indigenous. One of the people who was involved in Denver, who helped us set up the 501c3, her name is Simone, and she is a Black woman. And we've also had, white people or, different, people that come and organize with us. But it's not like exclusively for Indigenous people, but it's centered around like Indigenous practices and Indigenous leadership and for like Indigenous issues, things like that. And so there's a lot of things that are like intersectional. We have done a lot of work, helping with like Black Lives Matter rallies or, a climate strike and, all of these other things. And so, yeah, it's not like exclusive. And the camp, yeah, that was just like at Sundance. And so it's just like a ceremony, like we camped out for like 5 or 6 days together. And so there's a lot of like, people when they come together, it's like a journey to go, and so there's a lot of community there. People you only see like once a year, so you want to go around and see everybody. So it's a really good time, to bring up these issues that we have as Indigenous people, because a lot of it, especially in the organizing that we do, is tied to our ceremony and our spirituality. So it's like the best time to come together with, other Indigenous people and, talk about it and make plans, plot.
Oh yeah, that sounds great.
The council does get a lot of opportunities though for its members to attend trainings or things that are centered for youth, and like maybe just being part of our network. We have a group on Facebook that's like a working group, and we share opportunities there. And maybe that's something at first to kind of see what is like what the council can offer you. And yeah, just think that's what we do get a lot of opportunities, and we share them with the folks doing work in their chapters.
Yeah, we offer a lot of different, well, I myself am a nonviolent direct action trainer. So if there's ever any need for that and people want me to come and help, do some like trainings, or, we could like do like a lockbox build or like an art build, or, different kind of things. And, I go through all the steps, for like action planning and different things. And we also do a lot of like promoting for professional development, grant writing and different things like that, just to help our chapters be able to sustain themselves. And yeah, it's really big on sharing opportunities and resources.
I have a question. Are most chapters centered around tribes, or are there other like urban or just, I guess, regional chapters?
We have chapters that are based in cities. Also we had a regional chapter. It was the Southern California chapter, but that turned into the LA chapter. Other chapters in cities that we have is like Bay Area, Chicago is another example. And then another regional chapter that we have is Texas, and there's some folks in like Austin, San Marcos. Some people were from Houston, stuff like that. And yeah.
I think the Oglala chapter is the only chapter that like all of the members are Oglala, just because our our nation is so big. We have 9 districts, and so they're just people from all over. I think it's like 300 miles by or 200, something like that. So yeah, it's just because most of us are so condensed in that area. But yeah, I think most of the chapters are like urban. We have the Winnipeg chapter, because Winnipeg is like a huge Indigenous hub here in Canada. So yeah, it's mostly all nations.
Great, thanks.
Does anyone have any other questions to ask? Or do any of the members have anything else that they really would like to let the youth know that are on the call today before we wrap up everything?
Can we introduce the new people that just got on, maybe?
Of course, yes.
I think I just see, okay, so I see Mika and I see Teresa, and I don't know if there's anyone else that's new. If you want to introduce yourself just really briefly. And
Hello, I'm Teresa. I am the chapter representative for IIYC Rocky Mountain chapter. Sorry guys, I didn't know we had a meeting, so Meek just sent me the link. But happy to be here.
Hello, sorry, I'm doing food drive right now, making delivery, so I apologize for being late. My name is Micaela Ancho Dominguez. I'm a current board member right now, and have been a part of the IIYC pretty much since the beginning, especially during the 501c3 status and all that not so fun stuff. And yeah, great to be here.
Thank you for coming. We really appreciate you guys being able to introduce yourselves and share a little bit about how you've helped the IOIC advance to where it is today, especially. So thank you. Does anyone have any other questions for the IOIC members? Or thoughts or anything? Sorry if there's rain in the background. It's like downpouring where I'm at right now. Okay, so it looks like we don't have any other questions. Like we were discussing, the importance of community, and based on the last talk we had with Carrie, I think it would be really important to, if you guys are comfortable, if you wanted to share your Facebook names in the chat, so we can, all keep in touch. And then if you have any questions, later in the week or in the next month or year to come, we can, keep in touch and keep those questions coming. And I'll work on getting the group together tomorrow. But yeah, if everyone just wants to add their name in the chat, if you're comfortable, and then tomorrow I'll get a group started to keep you guys in touch. And awesome. Okay.
I had another memory that I wanted to share. It was a few years ago. Well, so in Standing Rock, we did a silent prayer march where we set up the traditional, like, horn is what it's called, is the way that the camps were set up. So there was 7 teepees in like a crescent, with the opening of the crescent being towards the east, and that's like the traditional way that our camps would be set up. And we did a sacred fire there, and we marched from that fire to the what was then the barricade when the police put the trucks on the bridge. And so we marched, started in a prayer at the fire, and then we marched silently all the way to the bridge, where we offered water that we had prayed with, and we offered it to the police, who denied it. But and we prayed there, and then we marched back, and there was like 300 or 400 people there. It was really cool because it was like quiet, and we were in the front, and so everyone was behind us. And so it was just wild because you couldn't like hear anything. It didn't sound like there was anyone behind you, and you look back and there's like hundreds of people. But because of that, I was invited to this restorative justice conference hosted by the National Association for Community and Restorative Justice, which was co-founded by like Angela Davis and some other people who fight for helping to like bring restorative justice practices into different states, and trying to build that as the better alternative than what we have now, our current justice system. And I was able to speak on a panel with a young person named Mirita Hernandez, and she was working with like the Dreamers, and that's when all of the stuff, like when Trump was trying to cancel the Dreamers Act and that kind of thing. And so I was able to speak on a panel with her, and also Angela Davis and Erica Huggins, and just talking about like the importance of spirituality and prayer in our activism. And talking about as Indigenous people, we have our own coping mechanisms and different things to because when you're doing a lot of like activism and things, especially like on the front lines, there's a lot of like trauma that can come from that, and different things associated with police, and the theft and destruction of land and different things like that. And so they just talked about about how in their days with the Black Panthers, there wasn't that prayer, and there wasn't that like groundedness and unity amongst them. And they had, and especially Erica Huggins and Angela Davis. So it was really special being on that panel with them, because they didn't agree on that back in the 60s and 70s, where Erica thought it should be more prayerful and mindful of things like that. When you look at the Black Panthers motto of everything for everyone and nothing for ourselves, and so they talked about that, and how we need to actually be more mindful of our self-care and our mental health, and being grounded. And as Indigenous people, we have our ceremonies, we have the practices that we have been carrying on for millennia. So I just want to say that because that importance of groundedness and spirituality, it's like you've heard before on this call, it's something that's very big in the Youth Council. And so that and that's like where a lot of our community and our power building comes from, is just being grounded like that, one heart, one mind, and one prayer.
Thanks so much for sharing that, Terrell. Anyone else have any questions or comments or other stories they want to share before we wrap up? The Keys family, I see your hand raised. Want to unmute yourself?
How does that like work?
How does what?
How's the like? I have a prayer book up in my room, but sometimes I forget to read it.
Just whenever you pray, you don't need to have the book all the time. It's good to have it and to read it, but sometimes your prayers just come from your heart. So whenever, just think about the things that you care about and the people that you care about and the things that you love. And, if you just have those things in your thoughts and in your heart while you're praying, then that's all you really need. And your book helps too.
Did that answer your question, the Keys fam? That was a good question. That was a really good question. Does anyone else have any other questions or comments? No? Okay. Well, it looks like all our questions and comments have been fulfilled up until this point. Yeah, I just want to thank you all again for coming. And if you have any questions for any of the IIYC members, they put their contact information in the chat. And always feel free to reach out to anyone if you have questions. I'll work on tomorrow, maybe trying to get some kind of group started on Instagram or Facebook or email or something where it can be a constant communication and constant space to just feel comfortable to ask questions that maybe you wouldn't be able to ask at school or anything like that. So yeah, so thank you so much, IIYC, for coming out tonight. We really appreciate it. And we hope that this was just as nice for you as it was for us. And yeah. Okay, looks like there's some more chat. So I'm gonna save the chat so everyone just still has things to put in. I'll take a look at it. But yeah, thank you so much, guys. And have a good night.
Thanks for having us.
Everyone be safe.
Thank you. Bye.